and you need to remind your team that there are a lot of things that they can do on their own, and they don't have to have you or rely on you for every single issue. Hi, my name is Daria. Welcome to ScrumMastered video series where I give you practical tips on how to build awesome teams. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the differences between impediments and issues that your team might be able to solve on their own, because there is a lot of confusion around that. As we know, Scrum Master is there to help resolve impediments. So often teams and organizations and even Scrum Masters believe that any kind of issue that the team encounters is theirs to solve. However, this is not true. I have already talked about self-management and self-organization as a key concept around the Scrum team, and the fact that as a Scrum Master, you're there to help your team to self-manage and self-organize. And this comes to this topic of impediments. So when we think about the Scrum Master and we think about the fact that they are there to help remove impediments, what we first need to understand whether the issue we are helping resolve is actually an impediment, that something that actually impedes the success of the team, and something that is outside of the team control. So the impediment, if we want to define it, we can say that this is something that does not allow your team to achieve a done increment by the end of the sprint, and is something that is completely outside of their control and requires external help. When we look at the impediment from that point of view, what we can see is that a lot of the challenges and issues and blockers that the team might be bringing up and kind of handing over to someone else to resolve, such as their manager or the Scrum Master, might not actually be impediments. So if we take any kind of issue, anything, into our hands and say, this is an impediment, this is something that I need to resolve, what happens is the team starts to rely on someone outside of the team to resolve any kind of issue. However, in order for the team to really self-manage, they need to be able to resolve some of those issues on their own. So what can be a difference between the actual impediment and something that the team can resolve on their own? Let's look at an example problem. Say your team comes to you as a Scrum Master and tells you that they are unable to proceed, there is an impediment to their progress, and it is another team they work with, or maybe in another department. So they tell you that they are waiting on something from this other team, and this other team knows that we are waiting on them. However, we haven't heard back from them in about a week. Now, you might think, well, wait a minute, that is definitely something I need to take care of because this impedes the progress of my team, and technically it is outside of the team. However, is it really something that the team is unable to resolve themselves? Well, in this situation, we can analyze and see if it's a team that our team works with closely. Well, that means that they're able to go there and talk to the other team. They can send an email themselves, then they can have a call, they can schedule a meeting, and they can resolve this issue without an involvement of someone else. But say if this is the exact same situation, however, we as a team reached out to them, we sent emails, we tried to involve them in meetings, and we just didn't hear anything from them. They are completely ignoring us. So we have already explored all of the different avenues trying to resolve that issue. However, nothing really helped. Well, it seems like the problem has escalated and it might need the involvement of a manager that is outside of the team and to resolve that issue. So in this case, we can say, great, it has escalated. Now I can take it on to myself and figure out how else can I help my team resolve it. Maybe I need to reach out to my manager so that my manager reaches out to the manager of this other team. And this can have a bit more leverage in order to resolve that issue quicker. And we might need to escalate it even higher if there is a bigger issue that does not allow our team to really succeed. So you can see the difference between what is an impediment something that is outside of the team control, and something that is just a blocker that the team is able to resolve on their own. As a Scrum Master, if you want your team to self-manage, to self-organize, you have to let them figure out how to resolve some of those blockers and issues on their own. So it means that sometimes you do not step in and you need to remind your team that there are a lot of things that they can do on their own, and they don't have to have you or rely on you for every single issue. If you are faced with a situation where your team is facing a blocker, but they might not know actually how to resolve it, while yes, you are there to resolve impediments and you need to step away and let them figure it out, well, first you need to make sure that they have the tools and the information necessary to be able to resolve that on their own. Very simple example is when it comes to conflict. If it is just a disagreement within the team, it's not yet an impediment and just an issue within the team, well, they should be able to resolve it on their own. However, do they know how? So as a Scrum Master, sometimes you might need to bring tools and information, do some workshop, maybe some facilitation of discussion to help your team figure out better ways to resolve issues on their own without always relying on you. So this is your first step. And when it escalates, well, this is an impediment, now you're there to help remove it. I hope you learned something new today, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I hope to see you in the Mastering Scrum Pro community, where we are coming together with many Scrum Masters from around the world to help each other grow and really invest in our professional development. And if you're looking for specific facilitation guides to help you help your team, then check out the shop ScrumMastered.com, where I share a lot of great resources that you can add to your Scrum Master's toolbox. I'll hope to see you next time. Cheers and Scrum on!